Okay, so now I've gotten to the point where I've run out of thread that was originally strung on my needle. So I've gone ahead and cut the needle off and restrung it, and this is the end of my new string. And so now you just need to tie a square knot with these two pieces, and notice I did not tie these strings on the new needle into a knot. So I never get the square knot right on the first try. Well, I think I might have just done it. Alright, so to test it, just make sure you pull really tight. And if these come apart, you didn't get your knot right. So you'll need to try again. So it looks like I actually got lucky there. So what I'm going to do is leave these tails, and I'm going to string on a few more beads until I get down to my knot. And you'll want to make sure that you get a bead that's big enough, the hole in it is big enough to run the knot through. Otherwise you'll have a really hard time, or you'll have to tie your knots much closer, so there's not as much leeway. So when your tails start running through your beads, you just leave it on there. It makes your knots a little bit more secure. Sometimes you don't get lucky and it doesn't end up inside of one of the beads. The knot is, that is. This one may or may not. I can't tell, but it'll end up in the second bead here. So if you use shorter lengths of string, you'll have to add on thread more often. And they're a lot easier to work with, but you'll have to do this a lot. Otherwise you work with long stretches of thread and you end up having to deal with a long piece of thread for a while, and it kind of gets crazy. Okay. So my knot kind of went partially inside of this bead. Not all the way. Sometimes it'll go inside the bead, and that's like the best situation, but it's hard to figure out how to get it to go in there. Alright. So then just trim these tails off as close to the bead as you can get without cutting the knot that's the string that's coming over the leather cord. Okay, and then just continue doing this until you get to the end, and that'll be what I show you next. Okay, so I finished the last bead, and now I'm going to finish off this row the same way we started. Just push the needle through the middle of the leather cord. And go figure eights a couple of times. then pull it tight and push them together. Okay, and then go up and down through the, or around the figure eights. Okay, and then I'm going to go down one more time and then come back up through the loops. And then back out through the leather on this side. Okay, and then just tie in an overhand knot. I'm going to have to cut this from the needle. Okay, so now we'll just remove this from the frame and tie it off. So now we just tie an overhand knot to hide this string in. Okay, trim off the excess string. So after trimming off the excess thread, you want to make sure that you tie a series of knots that are spaced far enough in between to fit this button through. And then just try it for fit until you find how many spaces or how many series of knots you need to put in to be able to secure it around your wrist. Okay, once you've got your series of knots done till you've tried it on a couple times to make sure it fits comfortably, then you can just cut off the excess cord, leave just a little bit of the cord hanging out so that the knot doesn't pull through. Okay, and then wrap it around your wrist. And slide the button through the last loop in the cord. And there's your bracelet. Alright, so kind of a Chandlu type bracelet. Hope you enjoy it.